Hello everyone, this is Diane. I just want to talk a little bit about what I'm thinking for this last month of 2023 for my Pretty Pink Cottage, both my channel and my shop. So I would like to finish this glue book if I can, or come close to it. I have all these little purple sticky notes to show me where I need to do some work, some pages that I don't think are done. And this card that's in this envelope, I pulled it out so I would remember. So I need to go through this and finish this book. I made this some time ago, and this is my next one, and I haven't done a thing with it because I'm waiting to finish the other one. So that's what one of the things I would like to do is to maybe do some video sessions of working in this glue book. It's pretty heavy now with all the stuff that's glued in it, and I love this book. So I want to get to this one, and then I thought an easy project for me to do as far as journals to put in my shop would be to make a few glue books for you. So I happen to have 4 more of these books. So I'm not going to put pressure on myself to hurry and get these done. I will work on them as I can while I'm doing other things that I want to do, and I'll talk about that too. But I started putting the covers together, and I think we're going to do one of my favorite parts of making a journal, and that is to select the fabric for the spine. I thought we could have an enjoyable visit and choose our fabrics and our trims for these journals, but let me show them to you. Front and back covers are the same, except the back doesn't have this part. So there's one. This is volume 5 and volume 2. Now this one has this kind of effect. They are covered in like a cellophane film that sometimes it's just peeling off. I just peeled it off on the edge there. That'll be covered with fabric. But I think something occurred with this film, between the film and the cover, and it created this effect on it. And that's volume 2. This one is volume 6. I love these covers because of the collage look. It looks like what do you call it? Inspiration board. There's thumbtacks and ribbons and things, just kind of holding things on. They're just really fun collages. And this one is volume 2 with Punch and Judy here. And a potato, a baked potato hanging on a string. I don't know why, but there it is. So these are the glue books I'm going to work on. Let me show you the kinds of pages that are in this, because I'll probably do something similar. For this fabric, I chose the purples and the greens. And you know I don't like purple, but I liked the owl. I liked this whole collage, and this was purple, so I went with it. Wow. Just had a really big gust of wind. I was like, what is that? And then I use purple and green beads, and I actually like it. See, I don't hate purple, just not my favorite thing to use. And then I've got it right there too. So anyway, these are scrapbook papers that are stitched together. This is a gardening binder book, kids piano music. This was just the illustrated side, just pages out of a large book and a calendar. I think that was a coloring page. More scrapbook paper. This is wallpaper. Atlas. Got lots of big atlas pages. So, things like that. Large envelope. So I will, yeah, that's cut right here, so I can put a card in there that I can collage on. So you see the kinds of pages that I used. So that I will use similar pages in, this is from a kid's book, in the new books that I'm going to make. Let's just choose one and start start making or finding some fabrics. By the way, these are the pages that I saved out of those books. I'll incorporate some of those somehow also. Okay, here we have this. That's the eye-catching color right there. But there's this coral color that kind of goes along with these. So pinks and yellows. And the board behind it, the wood behind it, is a dark, dark green. So I have a whole bunch of fabrics here beside me. I have my fabrics, most of my big fabric pieces, in totes like this in my closet here. And each tote, they're kind of organized. So this tote here has some special fabrics, or like my favorites, or novelty fabrics. And then I have another one that has reds and blues and browns, and another one with blues and greens, one that has solids and polka dots and stuff. And then I have another kind of a tote that has patchwork pieces. So that's a possibility too. All right, so you saw me pull this out because it's got the big flower like that. So that's a good possibility. That would go well with it. I want to look at the patchwork pieces too. So these are like some of my more costly fabrics. The Kathy Holden, some of these are Kathy Holden fabrics, Pioneer Woman fabrics. And these I ordered from a quilt shop on Etsy. Absolutely love these florals. Hope you got to see some of them. And I forgot her name, the artist that did these. I've done several little journals with that fabric. So, yeah, that's why this is my special one. I have this blue ticking that I thought might work for something. Okay, I'm looking in my patchwork thing, and it's too big for me to put on the table, but I'll just pull some up. I'll keep this there just in case. Now these have multiple sections of color, so if I might look at this and say, no, that doesn't work. But then over here, it does. And it even has some of that pink. So this would be a great one, I think. This one has a larger section of the brown and green. It's got some of the yellow flowers right there. But I think it's a little too dull because, I don't know, I just like my glue books to look fun. So I like to do a fun spine fabric on my glue books. Yeah, that one's better in my mind. I like that the best so far. And I have this different kind of a piece. I am gonna go with this. A lot of times when I choose a fabric, I cut it long enough to cover both the inside and the outside, but with a patchwork piece, I don't want to waste the patchwork on the inside. So I cut it long enough to cover the outside and to fold over. So let's see, how wide do I need this to be? Well, I need to even this up because I can tell it's pretty crooked. Okay, that looks better. So I think right here. And how high do we need to go? Right about there. And I just put some of these pieces of patchwork in my shop today. I put in 5 pieces that are 6 squares by 8 squares. So a little bit, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this size, they're this size. I put in 5 pieces, and I've sold 3, so there's only 2 left. And by the time you see this video, they may be gone. I'm hoping. The pink is down here, so I want to put the pink up here. Even though it would be kind of fun to have this little seam part there. Let me just see. I think it would look better with the pink up here and the dark down here. Kind of swap them from where they are on the cover. So I will put glue on this. I'm using my Fabri-Tac, and without putting it on the pieces that will fold over. So right about there. And there. There's a garbage truck outside. You'll be able to hear it really well, probably, in a minute or so. Because he's stopping for mine right now. If I look at it from the other side, I can kind of see if, from this side, I can see it's not centered because it's going to be wider on the back. But it's going to be okay. So then I will have to select another fabric to go on the inside. Where's this going to go? Just like that. Okay. Got to have the seam going one way or the other, or laid out flat. I don't know how many of these we'll be able to make. Maybe I'll find a patchwork piece for all of them. It takes a little bit longer to do it this way instead of using one long strip. I can't tear it to make it straight. But the end result will be pretty cool. And I will put some trim down here because it is kind of wobbly. It's not a well-made quilt top. And I'm just freehand cutting, so that doesn't necessarily make for straight cuts. This was the bottom of a shirt. It's the shirt tail. So I need it to be a long enough piece. When I do the next cover, I'll talk a little bit about how I put the covers together, just in case. I've done that a lot on videos, but just in case you've never seen it or want a refresher, I will just speak about it while I am gluing fabric down. I said in the introduction to this video that I would be talking about something else, but I can't remember now what I said in the intro that reminded me to talk about something else. I need another reminder. Had a very busy day yesterday. Now you can see the paper is torn here and the fabric barely covers it. But I would be putting some trim down there anyway, so even if it peeked through a tiny bit, I would be able to cover it with the trim. I met my daughter at the nail salon at 9:30. That's when they open to get her nails done. And then I went to take my dad for a procedure. And they had told us to expect 4 to 6 hours for this procedure, from start to finish, from when we got there till when he was allowed to leave. So my sister said she would come out. Weeks ago, we made this plan that she would come out and, you know, partway through and let me go on with my day. So 3 o'clock, she and her husband came, and by then my dad was already in recovery, so it didn't take as long as they said. So I think they just highball it so that if it does take longer, you're not taken by surprise. But I was able to pass the baton to her, and I had already spoken to the doctor because the surgery part was over. And so I was able to fill my sister in on what the doctor had said. And then I had to leave because my son needed me to take him to the bank. Well, the bank was still open because he walks to work. He doesn't have a car while his wife is working. So I had to go pick him up and take him to the bank. So it was bing, bang, boom, one thing after another yesterday. And by the time I got home, I was exhausted. Even though, you know, sitting in a hospital waiting room isn't expending a lot of energy, but it's a different kind of energy. And I did get up frequently to walk. I walked up and down the hall, and I went down on the elevator to the first floor where there's a longer concourse to walk. Got my steps in. But mostly, I was sitting and I couldn't read. I was hoping I could use this, but it is not long enough to put on the front and the back. Think I'll put some GIMP on this. I have a lot of GIMP. This is an upholstery trim that sets it off nicely. And it's wide enough to hide any wiggly edges. So let's see, I had been talking about my plans for the rest of the year. Okay, so maybe this is what I said I would talk about while I was working. In addition to working in my glue book, I want to clean. I have a lot of organizing and cleaning to do. I just want to have my space really good for the beginning of the year. And so rather than working on a complicated project, which would make a bigger mess, I will do that. And in order to be creative still, my videos will be things like using Lorna's stamps that I got from her new line of stamps with Creative Expressions. Because I showed them to you when they came in the mail, but I haven't used them yet. I've been busy with Christmas journals and then the 3 journals that I just finished. So yeah, I want to do that. So I'll do videos like making ephemera stuff and using my stamps and dies, and I want to do a video about making envelopes. And of course, I'll be, prepping for Christmas too, so I don't know if I'll be making as many videos. We'll just see how it goes. I don't want to put pressure on myself. So what kind of videos are you interested in seeing if I'm not making a journal? If I'm organizing and I'm going through a particular thing, like I have a box, so that looks good. I like that. I need something here. I have a box of fabric pieces that are cut into triangles, circles, squares, rectangles, the fan shape. And they're all in a 12 by 12, like a 3-inch deep, just scrapbook paper box. Maybe here I'll use some rickrack. This is vintage rickrack. So I was thinking of going through that box and sorting it, separating it again, because it gets messed up. I have the circles in one pile and etc. And some of the pieces are sewn together in little patchworky segments. So I want to organize that, and then I'll have to thin it out. I don't need that many. So I would take out some that I would be willing to put into a bundle to put in my shop. So if I did something like that, would you be interested in watching me sort through that and organize that box? See, that is showing now that the fabric is glued down, that a little piece of the torn part is there, but I can cover it with this if I position the rickrack just right. Okay, so let me know if you'd be interested in that, or any other thing that I'm sorting through so that I can pull from it destash. Are you interested in watching me sort through my stuff and destash, and then you'd be able to see firsthand what items I am disposing of and what will be eventually in my shop. My daughter gave me a good-sized box of her Stampin' Up! Stamps to put in the shop for her. So I will be listing sets of Stampin' Up! Stamps too. I don't know if I'll do that before Christmas, but that's coming. I might. I don't want to speak in absolutes for the month of December. You know what I mean? You never know. There. I have the zigs and the zags where they need to be to hide that little torn part. I always think I have this back cover upside down when I'm using these books because to me that pine cone looks upside down, but it is not. There's one. What is that? 25 minutes. Okay. This one has similar colors. Let's do something with a different color. Let's do one of these. I don't have purple fabric, and there's purple here. I wish I had something purple. Is this purple enough? It might be. I like this one because it has some of the pink and blue in it too. Let's just go with that if it's big enough. Well, it's not big enough to wrap all the way around. But I think the colors are cute with it, and I can use a pink rickrack. I should iron it, but I'll just glue it down. Got all these pins here. There was a whole set of these encyclopedias at the Barnes flea market all year. I would see them. They're $15, I think, for all of them. They weren't selling them individually. And I just, you know, I still had 4 of these that I hadn't used, so I just didn't want to bring them home. And on the last day I was there, this vendor had everything half price. That's where I got those Audell's carpentry books for $1.50 when they had been marked for $3. I thought, well, I could get that whole set of these books for $7.50. That would be a great deal, and it would be a great deal. But do I need them? No. And would I use them? Maybe eventually, but it would be taking up space for a long time. So I didn't get them. Probably, I don't know if he's going to remove them because they were all half price at the end of the season. So, you know, maybe before the flea market opens up again in April, he will remove some of the things that just didn't sell. So I don't know. If they're not there next year, I won't be sad because I still don't know if I would buy them if I saw them today for $7.50. Yeah, I think that's a pretty color here. So I do want to talk about construction of the cover, and that really helps, I think, adding that pink before I cover it. So I cleaned off the edges of the cover, cut a piece of chipboard. These spines are 2 inches, I think, or is it 2 1/4? Sometimes I make my glue book ones bigger. I just cut them today. Yeah, 2 1/4. And whatever the length of the book is. And then I cut Tyvek. This is a pack of Tyvek that I got from Amazon. So just look up Tyvek. Sometimes it's not available in the sheets like this, and I will buy it. I will buy the big envelopes that are made out of Tyvek, and you can cut them up. But it's a lot easier if you can get the sheets. So that's what that is. And Tyvek is a product from DuPont that is neither paper nor fabric. It's kind of a plastic paper, and you can't tear it. You can cut it easily, but you can't tear it. So that makes a really good, sturdy book cover. And then I just used double-sided tape to, I lay these pieces out, these 3 pieces out on my board facing this way with the double-sided tape. The backing peeled off so the tape is exposed. And then I lay my piece of Tyvek down. I've already cut the Tyvek to fit across the chipboard and onto the covers a little bit. And then the right height. I cut it just slightly shorter than the chipboard piece. And I lay that down, and that's the base for my book cover. I hope that was helpful. It was succinct. And I hope you understood what I was talking about. Woke up to some snow on my front porch today. I have one sister who gets so excited about snow. I like snow. I like it when we get snow, as long as I can stay inside and be all cozy. I do not want to have to go out and shovel, clean my car off, or drive in it. But I do like snow. We grew up in the country, and snow was really fun. We grew up on a steep hill. We were halfway up the hill, and my dad owned the field that continued on up the hill. So we could climb up to the top of where our field ended. And it was downhill all the way from there. So we would drag our sleds and toboggans up there and spend hours. Well, maybe not hours, because we did get cold and wet and want to come in. After my mom bundled us all up and put our mittens on us and our boots and sent us out there. It was so much fun. Plus, we could build forts. My grandpa owned the property. Oops, sorry. My grandpa owned the property. I guess I'm going to have to cover that purple because I gummed it up with glue. He owned the property across the road from us, so we could build forts on one side of the road and the other. The girls against the boys. The boys were bigger, of course. They were older, so they could pelt us pretty good. And my grandpa had a pond, and we had a pond. So once that froze, we could go ice skating. So there was all kinds of fun to be had in the wintertime at our house. Plus, living in the country on hilly, windy roads, they canceled school sometimes with the snow. And that was always fun, too. It was so exciting to listen to the radio in the morning on a snowy morning and listen for our school to be announced as a closure. My mother probably sighed while we cheered if we heard our school name on there. So I think I've talked about what I've been thinking about for my plans for the end of the year. I know I keep talking about circus journals, and I haven't put the stuff away yet. It's taking up space on the floor in my office to put away into boxes and stuff, containers, but it's still out because I don't want to put it away because I want to use it. I have to make more circus journals. This one piece of the rickrack is really folded over and doesn't want to come out. I hope I can glue it down. And I've really stuck my fingers in the glue while I was trying to work on that. This is the piece that was giving me a headache. I'll just hold them down. Yes, it's down. Okay, one more piece here. Got my nails done yesterday and now they're all covered in glue. I remember these encyclopedias at my grandmother's house, the one that lived across the road from us. It wasn't directly across the road, it was across the road and down the hill a little bit. She's the one that gave us piano lessons. So what we would do is we would go across the road, and then there was a path from our house to her house and my grandpa. So there was a well-worn path between our homes, and we just would take the path to go to Grandma's house, so we weren't walking on the road. It was in the country, but it was kind of a busy road. In fact, my brother, when he was, I don't know how old, 7 maybe, rode his bicycle across the road, leaving my grandpa's house, and got hit by a car. My grandpa heard the sound, and he looked, because he was outside the barn, and he looked and he saw David's bicycle in the air. Oh, what an awful thing to see. And he almost died. He was in the hospital for quite a while. And he almost didn't come home. And I don't have a lot of memory about it. Looking for some fabric to put here. I think I'll just put a plain pink. But he survived and is still living. And he's quite a character, my brother is. This was going to be a pant leg. I don't know if I can tear this because I don't know where the grain of the fabric is. Let's just see. Okay. Okay, so there we have a straight grain. these two are flea market pieces of fabric. So was the quilt piece that I used on the other cover. Most of my fabric is flea market fabric. Got a few more minutes. I will cover both of these purple pages because I got glue on both sides, but I think I want it to be a different color anyway. So my plan for these is to get the covers done like I'm doing with these two covers in this video. I'll just do the other two. Maybe not today, but I will get them done. And then, you know, just when I get a chance, I'll cut pages. I don't really need to do much more than gather and cut the pages and put them together. But I'll have 4 of them to do. And then I will make the little stringy bead charm that you saw on mine. And once they're done, I'll let you know, but you probably won't see them again. Probably won't do a video with these. This glue is not coming out very well. It's taking me forever. You can see the glue through that pink fabric. Hopefully it'll dry more clear than that. Let's see, I put rickrack on the outside. Well, I'm not going to put any trim on it until I put new end papers down. And then maybe I won't because the end papers will cover up the raw edge. So I probably don't need to. Maybe I can select another fabric. Yeah, I can select another fabric for the next one, but I won't actually work on constructing it. Anyway, that's what that looks like. So we have orange and yellow and blue. I have this double knit that I didn't know if I wanted to keep. I don't think I want it for a spine. That's funky, but no. Don't have any orange fabrics. The colors work with this. There's purple. There's purple on his jacket. But I don't know. That might work. Yeah. The more I look at it, the more I like it. And if I do it that way, the flowers would be sideways, but I could wrap it all the way around, I think. Oh, barely. Yeah. Okay, that'll make it easier too. I'm sorry, this is a big book and I keep hitting the camera with it. I'll put that on. And I do have orange rickrack, but maybe the yellow would show up better. Yeah, I'd like to use the orange, but I like the yellow better. It looks better. So I'll have this with yellow rickrack. That is not a straight tear on this fabric, so one of the edges, the cut edge, wasn't straight. So now I've torn the edge and it is straight. I'll get a straight one. If I evened it up, it would be too narrow. The piece I already tore, so I need to cut a new one. There. This wasn't flea market fabric. I think this was a remnant from Walmart. But I don't get remnants from there anymore. For one thing, they hardly ever have any good ones. And when they do, you cannot wring them out through the self-checkout. And that's pretty much all you can do at Walmart anymore. If they have cashiers, there's only a couple and the lines are too long. So I just go to the self-checkout and you cannot wring fabric out there. Which is ridiculous. So I don't even look at the remnants anymore, which is kind of disappointing because that was really fun to find cool remnants at Walmart. All right, so that'll be there, and then this will be here. And then I don't know what I'll do on the inside. This has the brown, the yellow, and that blue is kind of standing out to me. Bandana. Let's see. Oh, here's some more blue. This has the brown and the blue. It's cute little flower pots. I think I like that one. This looks like a torn edge, and it looks straight. I flip it over so I can see the edges of the Tyvek. Make sure this is as wide as the Tyvek. Yeah, that looks pretty. And instead of rickrack, I have this pretty blue trim. Maybe I'll add that. Yeah, I like that. So there, you've seen the fabrics and trims that I'm choosing for my covers. We have this one. This is, you won't be able to see the number. Oh, it says right there. This is 2. This is 5. This is 6. And this is 12. What fun. These are going to be fun glue books. So my thought was, when I'm ready to start using my Golden Book Encyclopedia glue book, book 11, then some of you would be ready to use yours. Wouldn't that be fun? So that's what my goals are, or my thoughts and ideas for the rest of this year. We'll just see where December takes us and go with the flow, right? I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.